Hi, my name is Frank Wood, and I talk about AIDS because most of the people I know somebody who either has lived with or died from HIV/AIDS. I grew up in a time when, as a young man, it was just people were just becoming aware of it. The crisis hit, and for a long time nobody knew what it was. And I stayed fairly removed from it for most of my my early late 20s when it was just beginning. And I returned to New York actually after being away for a couple of years. I returned to New York in the early 90s, and like a lot of actors, I opened up American Theater magazine one day to read about Tony Kushner's new play. I think it was just the first act of Millennium Approaches, and was stunned to find out not just how important, how many people were living with HIV/AIDS, how important the crisis was, but also how difficult it was to be gay in America, and how brave it was to let people know that you were, and then how hard it would be to not only tell somebody, if you're dying of a disease, you have to tell them two things: that you're dying and that you're gay in a world that doesn't necessarily embrace gay people. So it plays representation of strong, brave gay men, and the importance, crisis that they were living with, and how to bring other people to rally around them. The play's ability to do that struck me as heroic, and so I talk about AIDS because it's something we all live with, and it's something that needs to change. And it's hard to talk for a lot of people because AIDS is both about something deadly, and because it's about sex. At least where I come from, those subjects aren't easy to broach. And so you have to make a note to yourself to talk about it. And you also have to find people who will listen. And you have to be able to listen yourself. And I think maybe that's the most important thing about Tony's plays. It taught me how to listen to stories about AIDS, about the crisis of being gay in America, about the inhibition and the restriction of rights that many people experienced